It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. I have no idea if I'm on the air or not, as I had technical issues getting started. Hopefully I'm live, folks. I cannot tell if I am or not. So I'm going to continue as if I am and hope that you guys are there. If somebody in the chat could say whether or not you can hear me, I would appreciate it. As it went weird on me there for the first time. Not. We can see and hear you. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, good. Phew. I thought I'd screwed up another broadcast. All right, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this 11th day of August. Wow. A couple quick announcements, and then we'll get to the stories of the day. Friday, we're going to have Melissa McCormick Davis with us to talk about Scarlet Lady that we couldn't talk about Sunday because we couldn't get a live Wi-Fi from the Virgin Voyages new ship. And then on Saturday, we're going to have Allison Moore with us to talk about the day she spent on the Scottish waters on the Waverly. So a couple guests on the weekend. Now, today we've got weather to talk about, unfortunately. There are four storms. The first is the one farthest to the east with the yellow cross there, closest to Africa, is a new tropical wave located over the eastern tropical Atlantic, several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. They're talking maybe 20% over the next 48 hours and 40% over the next 5 days. So that is going to be something to watch ahead. Now, Fred, the center of Fred is just south of the eastern Dominican Republic this morning, located about 50 miles southeast of Santo Domingo. Maximum sustained wind 40 miles an hour. It's presently moving off at the west-northwest at about 16 miles an hour. Central pressure's down to 1,006. The forecast, the center of Fred is expected to be near or over Hispaniola through today, move near Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas tomorrow, and move to the northern coast of central Cuba on Friday. Currently, we got tropical storm warnings for the Dominican Republic, tropical storm watches for Haiti, Turks and Caicos, and southeastern Bahamas. Now, interests elsewhere, you need to stay on top of things, including folks in Cuba. You need to monitor the progress of the system. At this point, Florida is in the cone of question. A lot's going to tell how much it weakens if it interacts with the mountains on Hispaniola or the mountains on Cuba. Before we see if it's going to strengthen and still be a system when it turns north and goes heads up toward Florida. The most likely scenario is the west coast of Florida at this point. But it's way too early to tell on this one. It's number one, it's not that strong a system. It's not that well defined. And we're just going to have to play more of a waiting game on this. The cruise ships that are out there now are doing some dodging to get around this storm. All right, out on the West Coast now we've got two named storms. We got Kevin that we've been talking about. Kevin weakens some more. It's expected to become a depression tonight. The center of Tropical Storm Kevin was located about 470 miles west-southwest of the tip of Baja. It's moving toward the northwest about 9 miles an hour. It's expected to continue in the northwestward or west-northwestward motion over the next several days. Maximum sustained wind have decreased to about 45 miles an hour with higher gusts. Further weakening is expected, and it should be a depression by tonight. However, the pressure dropped down to 1,001 on Kevin, so this is a kind of a strange setup because you got wind shear and you've got cooling waters. So, I mean, it should go away. Now, Linda is moving westward, still forecast to become a hurricane probably tomorrow. It's 330 miles south of Manzanillo, Mexico. It's got maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. It's moving to the west at 9 miles an hour with a pressure of 1,001. This one, in all likelihood, is going to become a hurricane, but at this point, they're not talking about it interacting with any land. So, all right, the lead story for today was Florida. Our lovely Governor DeSantis is going to appeal the ruling with Norwegian. Who didn't know that? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the state will appeal a ruling allowing Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings to require vaccination documentation for passengers departing from the Sunshine State ports. In a preliminary injunction issued on Sunday, U.S. District Court Judge Kathleen Williams said Norwegian Cruise Line would likely win its lawsuit against Florida. The cruise company's main arguments are that the vaccine passport ban puts health in jeopardy and infringes on Norwegians' rights. DeSantis said that we disagree with the judge's legal reasoning and will be appealing to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Who knows what those guys are going to do? Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, the cruise company operating the Norwegian Cruise Line, Oceania Cruises, and Regent Seven Seas cruise brands, made the decision months ago to only return to service with 100% fully vaccinated crew and guests. The company says the policy was accepted without issue in every port it sails from around the world, except from those in Florida. In her ruling, Judge Williams said that there was no evidentiary support to show that residents have experienced intrusions on their medical privacy or discrimination because some businesses, including cruise lines, have required COVID vaccination documentation. The new Florida law went into effect July the 1st. It threatens cruise lines and other businesses requiring vaccine documentation with fines up to $5,000 for every person affected. As a result, cruise lines have been walking a fine line trying to navigate between the recommendations from the CDC, which focus on the vast majority of passengers and crew members being fully vaccinated, and the Florida law that bans requiring customers to reveal their vaccination status. Several cruise lines are asking guests to voluntarily reveal whether they are vaccinated. If they refuse, then they're considered unvaccinated and face increased costs in the form of additional testing and insurance coverage, as well as being restricted from certain restaurants and other venues aboard the ships. So we knew that this was going to happen, or at least thought it was. And who knows if and when the 11th Circuit is going to rule. If you recall, they ruled one way and 2 days later reversed themselves just 2 weeks ago. So it's a mess. All right. The CDC, they have, I don't know if we want to call it a tool, but it's the CDC cruise ship color status. And it reveals several things that are, I found them a little troubling, I guess you'd say. Now, let's see if I can do this right. Oh, that might be why I had trouble getting on. I was going to share that, and I don't have it to share now. So I'm thinking, folks, if I do this, share screen, and share screen. Okay, is that going to give me that? I seem to be frozen. Okay. We're not going to worry about that. Okay, there we are. Chrome tab and CDC. There we go. Now, if I did this right, you guys can see this, I hope. That is the share. No, you're not seeing that. Daggone it. Oh, well. Okay, I was going to show you this color coding business. But basically, the CDC, with the information they get from the cruise lines, has a chart that's available. I mean, you have to get into it to understand where they're coming from. But basically, they color code where the status of the ships are. And for instance, the green, if it's a ship is on green, that means that it has passed the requirements and has paid passengers on board and has no cases reported. For instance, in today's report, the first company on the list is American Queen Steamboat Company, and the American Countess is green. That means that they have been approved for paid guests, and there are no cases. Now, there's a orange color, then a yellow color, and a red color. Now, what the colors mean is that if you have orange status, that means that the ship has reported cases, but is below the threshold for CDC investigation. So that would be like maybe 1 case or 2 cases. And I don't know exactly what the threshold is. But that would be orange status. Yellow status means the ship has met the threshold for CDC investigation because the ship has met one of the following criteria. It's at or above the threshold for COVID cases, at or above the threshold for passenger, or rather crew cases, or the state or local health department notified the CDC of passenger COVID cases occurring within 5 days of disembarkation. Red status means the ship is at or above the threshold for passenger and crew COVID cases based on the CDC's investigation. Additional precautions, such as returning to port immediately or delaying the next voyage, will be taken if it is suspected that continuing normal operations may subject an onboard travelers or newly arriving travelers to disease. So what I found troubling about this was that the number of, we've got a bunch of cruises going on now. Bahama Paradise, the Grand Classica, is green. The little, the cruise line they can't. Out of Palm Beach to the Bahamas. They've been sailing about a month now. They're green. All of the Carnival ships that have passed, are yellow, which means that they have all this CDC has investigated and the ship remains under observation, or they're orange that the CDC is monitoring. All of them. There are no Carnival ships that have sailed that have, are in the process of sailing. In other words, have passed the simulated cruises that are green. So I found that a little troubling, and I was not aware that all of the ships had cases on board. Holland America, of course, they're currently only sailing the one ship in Alaska, the New Amsterdam, and it had cases, and the CDC's investigated, and the ship remains under observation. Princess is the same way. They're under yellow. That CDC is this is a Majestic Princess. CDC's investigating, the ship remains under observation. Disney, the Dream just sailed. It's green, thank goodness. Meraviglia is yellow, which means that they've started an investigation. Norwegian Encore, that's currently in Alaska, is yellow. The CDC's investigating, and the ship remains under observation. Royal Caribbean, the Royal Caribbean group, the Edge is yellow. The Equinox is yellow, which we knew about the cases. The ship remains under observation, but it's been investigated. Allure is orange, which means that the CDC is monitoring, and they're on their first cruise. So I'm not sure how all this is going to play out, except there were very few ships that are currently green that have started sailing. So we're just going to have to watch this, folks. It's something that I will be, checking daily now. And I'm sorry that my sharing of the screen so you could actually see the chart itself didn't work out. But anyway, it's another tool, but I find it a little bit disconcerting that there were so many involved that had cases on board, and the CDC's studying it. So, we know that the coronavirus is going to be with us. COVID's going to be with us. But I was really under the impression that they were being a lot more open with the cases than apparently they have been. So that needs to be worked on, folks. They need to be a little more transparent. All right. Did anybody see the celebration that Norwegian Encore put out in Alaska? This was pretty cool, folks. The Encore rolled out a celebration to honor the last 17 months of uncelebrated holidays and reunions. Norwegian Cruise Line treated guests to a wide variety, excuse me, my throat was cracking there. They treated their passengers to a wide variety of holiday staples, including Alaska king crab legs, beef Wellington, which would be New Year's items, sweets for Valentine's Day, barbecue favorites such as ribs, corn on the cob, burgers, and fries for the 4th of July, Thanksgiving favorites like turkey, stuffing, cornbread, and pies, and over-the-top birthday cakes. They put out a spread for the guys on Encore celebrating the first cruise back. And the folks on the Encore were just raving about it. All right, that's going to wrap me up for news items today. Let's go see who's here. Again, sorry about not having the screen share. Man, my technical skills suck. No doubt about it. All right, Cindy's with us. We knew that. Cindy's the one that let me know I was on the air. Amy's with us. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. And she said, I see and hear you. Thank you very much. So I didn't totally screw things up. Tom Henry's with us. Tom says, weather, oh my, we fly to Miami on Monday and drive to Key Largo, then Key West. Whoa, no damages, please. Yeah, you could have some weather, Tom. Key West could be in the cone, but we'll see. It could break up too, completely break up. It's not that big a storm yet. Nikki's with us. Hi, Nikki from Jacksonville. Emily's with us from up in New York. Emily says she's supposed to go stand-up paddleboarding Saturday. Weather is calling for rain and a storm, possibly. Not sure if I should cancel the date. Well, one thing for sure, you don't want to be out there if it's storming. Cindy says, cone of uncertainty again between increased hurricane activity on the west coast of Florida and our crazy governor. Not like him living in Florida lately. I don't want to say anything about the crazy governor, but yeah, I certainly don't agree with him on things. So Cindy says she wished her governor would give his 2-week notice too. Yeah. Emily says all cruise lines should allow vaccinated passengers. I agree. Gretchen's with us. Hi, Gretchen. She's up there in Ohio. Emily's on her mobile phone. That's due. Amy says a few months ago, Governor DeSantis was the savior of the cruise industry for suing the CDC to get cruising started. Now he's become a roadblock. He should have quit while he was ahead. I completely agree. Tom says lots of yellow and orange. Yeah, that's again. I got to see how this plays out as more ships go on. And the one thing that's not delineated on this thing is okay. So a ship has some cases, and they're past the magic number, whatever it is, and they go through the yellow and orange business. How long do they stay on it? How do they get back to green? Or do they? Do they ever get back to green? I don't know. So Cindy agrees with Emily. I keep posting the suggestion to John Hill of Carnival. I agree with you also, Amy. He needs to back off. Jason's with us up in Pittsburgh. Vaccinated passengers have more and easier access aboard ship. I will show my vaccine card. Why not? No big deal. I have nothing to hide. This way others know I did my part to stay safe. I completely agree. Emily says, what's up with Jason? I don't know. I'm not sure. He's here and gone, or here and he's mad at me. Well, it's possible too. I mean, it could be part of my screwing up the technical stuff too. Anyway, Cindy says I'm getting scared for our October cruise on Horizon. Scheduled another week off in November just in case. You know, I'm still of the belief that the cruise lines, they're going to keep going. We're not going to see another shutdown, I don't think. I mean, unless things really get bad. And if the politics will sit back and let the cruise lines do their thing, take care of protocols the way it is, the way they're supposed to be, I think we're going to all be okay. But goodness gracious, I mean, again, I disagree totally with the governor on, not letting Norwegian require vaccinations. So, and anyway, right now, I mean, he's got to win the appeal before that changes again. So I'll have to see what happens with that. So right now, Norwegian is still in the driver's seat. But DeSantis is going to appeal. The appeal is not filed yet either. He's saying he's going to appeal. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I will see everybody same time, same channel tomorrow, 11 o'clock. I'll try not to screw things up tomorrow like I did today. And that would be helpful to all of you guys. As always, appreciate the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, appreciate you do so. It doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel out a lot as it continues with our growth. Hit the little bell notification so you'll know when I go live or when I post a new video, and I do both a lot. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all. I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.